Malakai Bayoh left Simon when he was 13 years old. His powerful speech left Cowell speechless, voice even so far behind that a bright moment on the stage of Britain's not many people knew about the today. He had to deal with silent tragedies. More people will come because of this video. To know this story, and maybe Malakai Bayoh will get even more fans. Malakai's trip on Britain's Got Talent. There was a spontaneous idea that led to talent. During a family meal, his sister Naomi, and a huge fan of the show, pushed her to do it. Younger brother to give it a shot, she said. Believed the well-known saying that Malakai's beautiful voice could make some very strange things happen to him, from small shows in his hometown to on a national level. This idea at first made Malakai's family think twice. Abigail and David Bayoh were afraid for him. That the stresses of a big TV show, a show like Britain's Got Talent, this could be too much or a 13-year-old boy. They were afraid that the public, a lot of attention and high hopes, could bad effects on their son's mental health, well-being and growth. After weeks to talk about, the family went to Dr. Malakai's voice teacher, James Harrington, at the Royal College of Music. Seen the boy make amazing progress. Dr. Harrington thought that Britain had talent, was a chance for Malakai to show off his skills and share them with the world. He made sure to say that with Malakai would be able to get ready for taking on the challenges that lie ahead. In the end, it was clear to the family that this wasn't just a chance for Malakai to show not only his skills but also a chance for him to learn and grow from, put pressure on and boost confidence. The decision marked a turning point. The way for Malakai to get on the across the world. To get ready for the Malakai entered a tough competition during the training phase, balancing school choir participation and a strict vocal schedule. Dr. Harrington came up with an intense training program that was mainly about vocal exercises, controlling your breath. And Malakai shows his feelings every day. Spent hours working out from exercises that helped him get good at singing high notes, long, emotionally rich passages of his. Parents also set up yoga classes to help him get better at breathing, learn how to stay calm and improve your focus in tough situations, making sure he could keep their cool on a big stage. His family was always there for him, giving Naomi a lot of emotional support, joined in rehearsals by singing with him or as a member of the audience, making a happy and calm environment. It was hard to pick a song for the audition. Strategic move carefully thought through by Dr. Harrington and Malakai. After a number of talks, they chose Omo. This is Mio Babino Carrero by Giacomo Puccini. Place that showed off Malakai's clear voice and a large range of tones while letting him show strong feelings. It was a brave choice that needed care that you don't often see in someone so even. Though they were young, this bravery helped Malakai stand out from lots of. On audition day, he saw a lot of talented people, took a confident step onto Britain's Got Talent stage in front of a huge crowd, lots of lights and 4 tough judges, including the famously harsh Simon. Even with all that stress, Cowell kept up an impressive level of trust as the first notes of Omo Babino Caro let all of his worries ring for him seemed to go away. Malakai's pure voice filled the hall with sadness. He performed, leaving the crowd in awe. Each note with perfect accuracy and full, getting across the longing love story of the aria. When the show was over, the room broke out in a roar of applause. Stephen Cowell doesn't show emotion very often. Praised Malakai's performance as amazing and admitted that the boy had done everything. Amanda Holden told him how great that he spoke with maturity when he said, Malakai. Alicia said, she sang like a seasoned pro. Dixon talked about how pure his voice, saying it was a gift from God, while David Williams made a funny comment that Malakai's voice could make even the audition video for Coldest Hearts went viral on social media very quickly, getting millions of views in a short time. Days, introducing Malakai to people all over the world. Crowd at the semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent, Malakai raised his game. It was a classic performance with Nessun Dorma. Area that needs advanced vocal skills, technique and a lot of emotional power. He mastered all of the high notes, recording the piece's drama and passion bring many people in the audience to tears. Simon Cowell said this about the performance, brave and smart, while David Williams joked that Malakai's voice could bring world peace to everyone in the auditorium, and millions of TV's viewers showed their admiration. This made Malakai one of the best candidates for Britain's Got Talent crown. In the end, even though he wasn't the winner, Malakai Bayoh moved millions of people watched Britain's Got Talent. With his sweet voice still the same as the country was praising his skill, an unexpected storm came in quietly. What tragedy struck just before the important vote? Last part, would the pain be enough to break this kid, or would it become a moving note in his symphony, a tragedy in life before the end, just before the most important part? The grand finale was a terrible event took place in Malakai's life. His beloved Nanaya, my grandmother, died after a long battle with a long-term illness. The loss not only made Malakai's life empty, heart, but it also threw him into an emotional storm that could distract and resolve he had been putting into the competition with his story. Grandmother is an important part of. She gave birth to Malakai in Ghana. She had a lot of cultural background with her when she moved to the UK, where she was not only the one who keeps family traditions alive but also Malakai's constant friend and caretaker from the time he was a child. When his parents were alive busy with work, she was the one who stayed by his side and sang him Ghanaian songs, singing lullabies and telling sweet stories of her home country and growing his love for music from its very beginnings. And then just Malakai needed her the most. On the eve one of his most important performances, life, she was gone. The boy seemed to emotionally collapsed because the shock was so great. It made him stay quiet, not sure how to deal with the fact that she won't be there. During back then, Malakai often stayed by himself and he spent a lot of time sitting in front of her picture. His eyes were red from when he cried. This pain moved into his sessions for training. Dr. James Harrington, Malakai's voice teacher, told him that he was carrying a mountain on his back. Too much sadness for a child to handle. Even the family was sad and tried to comfort her. Hugs and stories about their memories with her and times when I cried, shared memory. Even though it was in that moment when it looked like start to fall apart that Malakai finds something deeper inside himself. The songs were no longer just as performances turned into goodbyes. For him to have one last talk with her. So what made Malakai strong enough to sing the sensitivity to his pain through his sorrow reached the hearts of a lot of people, or was his wonderful childhood where love and music have always gone together? That shaped such a deep soul. Do you remember where it all began? Following the death of his grandmother, Malakai had to deal with the biggest problem of his life on the last night of Britain's Got Talent. In that holy moment, He Caruso by Lucio Dalla was chosen because it was filled with drama and strong feelings as a deeply sad goodbye to his beloved grandmother that night. His voice wasn't not only pure but also heavy with grief and boundless love, filling the whole auditorium. Was very quiet as he spoke. Reached the powerful peak of the song, moods rose, moving both the audience and the actor and the judges, making a lot of people cry. Amanda Holden, her voice shaking, said that Malakai had linked up with a rare sincerity in everyone's hearts. David Simon Cowell is known for his tough. He was also praised for being brave, making it clear that the performance was one of the most beautiful times of the whole season. Alison Dixon and David Williams added to the praise by saying Malakai had turned pain into having extraordinary strength, which makes a performance that will be remembered forever. The crowd gave a standing ovation, and on many social media sites, the video word of the young boy's performance got around, quickly shared by millions of people with deep. He made emotional comments, but he didn't. Malakai got a win in the competition. Place among the top contestants who are leaving Malakai's life left behind an unforgettable legacy. It turned out that musical talent had been fostered. He has known since early childhood that he was born on October 15, 2010, in London, England. His father, my name is David Bayoh and I work in IT. The mother, Abigail Bayoh, is from a young age, she taught first grade. Malakai loved people very much. By the time he was 4, he was able to mimic melodies, amazed his family, recognizing how special he is because of his potential. His parents put him in a nearby children's choir. He quickly stood out in the choir of his peers. His teacher said he had a rare talent and gave him many major solo chorus parts. Even though he was the youngest, important turning point came for member when he was 7 years old. During a Mass A talent show with an emotional performance of a Maria, he won a clear victory and left a lasting mark on the crowd that his parents didn't. Don't be afraid to support his enrollment at one of the Royal College of Music, most prestigious music schools. Malakai got professional help there, training in music for singing performances, theory and piano. With the help of one time he was in charge of teachers, played Pygizu by Andrew by themselves, the Requiem by Lloyd Webber at a school, putting together his Pure, angelic and emotional, the voice shook the whole hall. Thunderous applause at that moment to their feet helped Malakai understand the magic of music that can bring people together. The After Britain's Got Talent and taking off possibilities. Right after Britain's Got Talent, Malakai naturally came to a conclusion. Became the talk of the town. His name was on a lot of different various news outlets, from the prestigious The Guardian to many online news sources, platforms, well-known television shows, and talk shows kept inviting him to show up on This Morning and in-depth chats on BBC Radio. These public appearances were more than just chances for Malakai to talk about his shows like Britain's Got Talent, but it also let him talk about his emotional musical journey and the important lessons he had learned from life. People all over the country were humble and honest. They won me over. A pure soul was coming from the boy. Not scared by the bright lights of fame. David and Abigail are Malakai's parents. Played a key part in guiding and taking care of their son's sudden fame. They had a professional work with them closely. The management team will carefully choose collaboration, lets you set priorities, chances that fit with the main idea, wants and long-term plans for the family had set up for Malakai. At the same time, they stayed alert to make sure he was not swayed by the media's keep an eye on a major turning point. What came after Britain's Got Talent was an important partnership between Malakai Bayoh and Universal Music. Has joined the group of music legends like Luciano Pavarotti. Andrea Bocelli, who is 13 years old, showed that skill doesn't depend on age. Debut album Golden came out in 2023. Was clear proof that far from sticking to well-known classical music, some places, like Ohio Babino Caro, Malakai performed modern songs with confidence, and new works that are this skilled. Coming together of tradition and modernity was even higher by working together with well-known people like Andrew Lloyd. The work of Weber and Sir Carl Jenkins Weber. Alexander brought up a single P.Y. Jesus Armstrong on Classic FM right away interested listeners. Then on July 21, 2023, Golden reached an amazing goal. By being on top of both the Billboard, the chart for traditional classical albums, and the official classical artist of the UK Billboard Albums chart. Helen Lewis of Universal, Malakai's yelled classics and jazz voice has a special power that is very rare. Malakai shared his talent and happiness. I can't believe my wish came true. True. Clearly signed with Universal. Golden was not only a strong witness to Malakai's unique gift but also a golden ticket to perform all over the world, chances that brought him closer than ever to the fame that so many people want in listening to classical music. With his successful music career, Malakai continues to put his education first, in which his family always puts more than anything else. He stays enrolled in junior college at the Royal College of Music, where he keeps improving. His vocal technique helps him learn more about. He studies music theory and gets better at playing the piano. Skills with the help of the best experts. Malakai was in the field at the same time, keeps his general education in check with help from dedicated teachers and flexible online classes that make sure he don't miss any important information, no matter how busy he was with his performance. And a recording schedule for his school supports him by adjusting his schedule to work with his musical promises. Like this dedication and strong having a sense of responsibility show Malakai's good character as a young boy who knows that a solid and all-around education will be a long-lasting base for his musical. He has also started to think about other types of music, from improvisational nature of jazz to the lively energy of its going into pop, and even the interesting field of written. Though it was still early stages, these projects show that he's strong drive and a strong desire to break separate from the rules of classical music, that wants to become an artist who can do many things well. Malakai is also very aware of his fame has had an effect on it. Was his job to use that power to. He is trying to inspire others and has plans to start a charity in his honor meant to help young musicians from disadvantaged backgrounds by important scholarships, given mentorship programs and the ability to top-notch music education. The compassionate initiative comes from Malakai really wants to help other people. Young musicians follow their dreams just like the ones he has himself, never-ending help from his family, and he also plans to organize a community workshops that matter in schools and places in the community where he will perform, talk about his moving journey, and teaching young singers the basics of vocal technique. Singers, these efforts aren't just to help and encourage the next these days, but also as Malakai's way to show how grateful you are to people who have believed in and helped. He was on his way to success in a moving in a talk. he said. I want young to let people know that they can definitely go after their dreams if they really believe in what will happen with Malakai Bayoh. It will shine as brightly as the stars. Plans for tours around the world are actively moving forward with what was planned places to visit, including major cultural cities like New York City, which is always busy. He fascinated Paris and Sydney, where he lived. Will be able to bring his amazing voice to people all over around the world. These trips will not only be performances, but also valuable chances for Malakai to get involved himself in many different cultures and enrich his musical traditions. Made it even better. Learning more and getting better at art, and at the same time, Malakai is working hard on exciting new music projects, such a second album that will come out in 2026. Which will have some surprises and interesting partnerships with skilled artists from a wide range of musical styles. Even though he has already done, Malakai remains an admirable success, grounded and thankful from the heart. He always acknowledges his love for her families, who are dedicated teachers and fans, are the best sources of inspiration on his path as an artist. With his natural talent and unwavering commitment and kind heart, Malakai is steadily building a bright and long-lasting musical career that looks like it will make him one of the most loved people and some of the best classical voices of his generation. From his very first steps on the stage of Britain's Got Talent, Born with Talent, Malakai Bayoh has already had a beginning of a new part of his career. He is not the only young star found through that show, but he has special qualities that made him stand out. Let's look at them now. Look at some other young artists who came from Britain's Got Talent and check out how the show has really turned into a place where rising stars can start their journey. The stage of the world was different from young artists who began in Britain's Got Talent is really young people with a lot of talent, people who made history. And one don't pay attention to 14-year-old George Sampson, who won the hearts of the audience in 2008 with his very good street dance moves that light a flame of passion, right taking him through the streets of Manchester to big stages for musicals like The Same Launchpad for Billy Elliot of Connie Talbot of Britain's Got Talent. The 6-year-old girl with a beautiful in 2007, his voice was heard in Over the Rainbow. Now become an artist around the world with millions of streams and tours on the web around the world. Keeping this flow of 2018 saw the impressive debut of This Is Courtney Hadwin, 13. Who set the stage on fire with her name on it, rough rock voice and hard to handle, letting record deals come in and live shows at big music festivals. And how the US is different from those. Malakai's journey stands out, for he picked classical music as a style that requires skilled vocal skills and an extremely high level of emotional age of 13 years old, while George and Courtney thrilled people with the street dance and rock music are full of young energy. Malakai speaks to people's hearts with what makes opera so powerful. Connie Talbot also had a lot of promise. When she sang, her musical path went toward pop and ballads, which most people, the public, rather than the complex places where Malakai went. Still, one thing they have in common is the strong help from family and friends, a burning love of the arts and the skills to make the most of the Britain's Got Talent stage. To be a major turning point where George and Courtney blew up, with young Malakai reaches the audience with vigor by being honest and having the power to turn a personal loss into a deep artistic feeling. These moving stories are proof of the effect of Britons have a lot of talent. It's not just a stage for finding unique skills, but also a safe place that helps people fly dreams of colorful art. Malakai Bayoh's journey has touched many people with his extraordinary skill and toughness, with a strong base and unshakable with help from his family. His future is Malakai will write a new book that is full of hope.